Hello, and you're listening to Questboard, a podcast where we make up random side quests. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Tiffany. And just so you know, we are not professional writers in any way, shape, or form. At least we don't claim to be. We just like tabletop RPGs, and we do this for fun.
Yeah, we make up backstories for fun, and we just concentrate on that the entire podcast.
Yep,
Anyways, you got dice?
I got 'em. I got a 45.
Okay. Oh god, it's a long one.
Oh, yay.
Deal of a lifetime. I'm willing to trade a lovely tin pot painted with cornflowers and lilies for a cart. The cart needn't be big, can even be tiny, in fact, just so that two or a better four people could fit in it, with ample room for bags and sacks, if possible. Could be old, long as it rides well and has new wheels and strong axles. So, actually, probably nothing made longer than a year or two ago would do. Leave a message with Boldy, Bohddie.
Yeah, Bodhi.
Well, we already got a name, but okay, so this one is
I need a cart.
yeah, which is
Willing to trade
this is an
this cool
interesting start.
pot?
So I'm willing to trade a lovely tin pot painted with cornflowers and lilies for a cart.
That seems like an uneven trade unless that tin pot does something fancy.
Okay, one, how do we get a party of adventure player characters to be willing to one make this deal?
Yeah.
And two, most parties don't even have carts.
So this becomes a fetch quest then. If they want the pot, which honestly, that pot better be magical in order to actually make this a fair trade and make a party even want to trade for it.
Well, it says it doesn't have to be a big cart. It could be a very cheap cart, as long as it has decent wheels and
Axles.
axles, whatever.
Sorry.
Oh, you're such a stickler. Um, yeah, it's
It still doesn't seem like a fair trade. It's just a tin pot, you said painted with cornflowers?
and lilies, yes,
Oh, and lilies. Well, that ups the price.
yes, clearly.
I like
It's
cornflowers
is
better anyway.
I'm just wondering, like, podcast about backstories. Like, what is the backstory of like why would they need a cart? To
Possibly
it says
a
so that two or better four. So maybe it's like a family trying to get away from something.
either that or a traveling merchant who has recently lost their cart and needs a new one, and they've got this pot that they're willing to trade for it. Honestly, they would have various other things they'd be willing to trade for a cart.
Okay, by the way, Bodhi, is that a feminine name? It sounds like a feminine name to me.
I feel like that is an either or name.
Do
Yeah,
we have
that
it as
feels
a guy then?
can be a guy, can be a girl. Sure, guy.
Okay, guy.
So
Let's
Bodhi needs a new
say,
cart.
yeah, let's say, maybe Bodhi is the shop owner of like a odds and end store, where it's like one of those just like crappy kind of like stores that's just like hand me down or like run down place kind of thing.
Yeah, bits and baubles, never know what you're gonna find,
Yeah, but
kind of
it's
thing.
like one of those like it's super dusty, and that's when you like it's a start of like one of those movies where it's either like a cursed item or a magical item, kind of like you find in the back corner underneath some rubble kind of shop. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's the best place to find random magic items.
And let's say like he he's up there in age,
So we got
and
a older gentleman, and he
yeah,
wants a
let's
a
say like he the reason why he wants a cart is because like he's old enough where it's like his elderly mother is too old to take care of herself, so he has to like drop this whole thing and basically have to like move to a different city to take care of his mother.
wouldn't you just move your mother to you at that point? Unless she's extremely like
She's living
stuck in
in
her
more
ways.
mild or hotter climates, and that's for her health.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like those people who, like they have to move to temperate climates for their like lungs.
right. Honestly, I would like to move to a nice warm climate, but we're stuck
The
in the cold
Pacific
weather.
Northwest is the best place.
It's wet, it's cold,
and that's what
it's
makes it great.
snows.
I love it. But
Yeah, sure.
anyways,
Anyway,
uh, sad story about him having to go and take care of his poor mother.
okay. So that's our backstory and backstory section. He needs to move to
No,
take care of his
we're
mother.
probably gonna go back into it, but yeah.
That is the end of the backstory section. I have spoken.
Oh, okay.
So he needs to move to take care of his ailing mother. Backstory stated. So he needs to move all the items in his shop because he's probably gonna start up a shop there, right?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
just like get everything must go and all that stuff.
true. But
But
the
why?
ad does say, like 1, 2 would be better.
Mm,
Maybe he's got a family.
yeah, he's got a family.
Yeah, he's got, wife and kid, maybe.
Well,
You need me to,
what happens if it okay? What
need me to
happens
name
it's
the
a
wife and kid.
hang on. We'll take care of names in a second. I got an idea.
Okay.
What if it's a failing shop, right?
It already sounds failing if it's dusty.
Yeah, but let's say it's just a random shop where they don't even sell magical items, or that they thought they do, or they
Okay.
don't, and they like couldn't afford like the cart,
Okay.
and he has a daughter who was like so like the sweet little daughter's like she paints the cornflowers and lilies on this tin can or tin pot,
Okay. Okay.
and she's like, oh, won't you can you just trade it for a cart if you use this, kind of trying to be helpful.
So helpful.
Yeah, but it's like she's probably like 7 or 8 years old where she doesn't fully understand, but she's like got a good heart,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he's trading that or trying to do that.
Yeah. I like that.
And then so let's say she paints on a magical tin pot, but the family does not know that that's a magical tin pot.
Right. Perfect. Yes. So what does it do?
I have no idea.
We'll figure that one out. I mean, it could do basic magic pot things. You put something in it forever will
Yeah, but
pour that substance out.
how does that turn into a quest? I feel like the magical pot has to do something or be a hook that leads into an actual quest. You know what I mean?
Maybe one of the party members could recognize it, and then that will lead them to really want it. Oh, what if the magic of the pot is if someone identifies it, they want it?
What do you mean?
Instead
Like,
of
oh,
it
it's like
actually,
a curse of
yeah,
obsession.
more of a curse of obsession. If you identify this object, you instead of telling everyone else what it does, because identify usually only just tells like the school of magic it is if you're using Dungeons and Dragons rules.
Is that the actual phrasing?
No, that's detect magic actually.
Yeah, identify actually says the magical properties.
Yeah. So if they detect magic or use identify, either way, if they sense the thing, they want it.
So, are we doing the fantasy tabletop fantasy version of the movie Christine?
I have not seen this movie.
Oh, it's a Stephen King movie that's based off
That's
a
probably
book
why.
that was like
That's
made in the 1980s.
yeah, that's probably why I haven't seen it. It's older
It's
than me
decent for its time.
and also
The
scary probably, I'm assuming.
No, I can't handle horror. I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, like 80s horror movies. It's not that bad because the CG is just so low quality and the acting
Oh
is poor
yeah.
quality that it's not even scary.
Yeah,
But
those do get pretty
uh,
fun.
I was gonna say that movie actually had the car like it was a movie about a demon possessed car that goes
Nice.
around killing people,
Rude, but
and
nice.
the owner is like super obsessed with the car. Like it's kind of like a little possession, kind of like obsession kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the car would ram it into people and like get damaged and all that stuff. They actually had the car repair itself on camera. I'm like, that's pretty good for 1980s like graphics.
That does sound pretty awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, so a
So
possession or
it
a
could be
obsession.
obsession possession. And that right there is the name of the episode. Now maybe not.
Now we're
We'll
doing
figure
it
that one out.
on in the middle of episodes. We never do that.
Who
I'm
knows? We
just
might change the jar later. Do you
I'm
want the jar to be possessive? Like that, or do you want it to actually do something cool?
I don't know. It's hard to
Like
say because we
maybe
could like obsession possession thing. It could easily be just like a demon of chaos and all this and that, but I don't
it
know
could go
if
part, or it could be something more along the lines of like a jar of necessity. You reach your hand in and you
oh,
pull
it.
out
By the
a
way, it's a
small
tin
item.
pot.
Sorry, tin pot. Tin pot? I thought it was a jar. Tin jar.
No, it says tin pot.
Oh, well, that changes everything. Tin pot's more like a cooking pot, right?
Well, that or like a pot of a potted plant. You know
Oh,
those kind
yeah.
of.
Okay. Okay.
I
So I'm
actually,
still
since it has
thinking,
cornflowers and lilies, let's say like potted plant kind of pot, but it's made of tin.
okay. Okay, then that kind of goes back to what I was thinking. Pot of necessity. You reach your hand in and you pull out an item that would fit in the pot and that can be useful for the moment that you're in, but like you just pull out a random object. You got to figure out what to do with it. It could be useful, it could be I don't know, useful for something else that you may need at that time, but it's still useful somehow.
How does that lead to an adventure?
I don't know, but a pot that gives you useful things could come in handy.
I love how we like made the background super easily and all that stuff, and now that we're getting to like the meet and grit of this side quest, and we can't think of anything.
Yeah, we're stuck on the pot. I mean, what would make somebody want to trade a really nice cart for a pot with cornflowers and lilies painted on it?
Well, I think this would could easily be something that's like very little parties will actually go for, but if they actually go for it, I think that's like those like hidden side kind of side quests. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not outright like we're going to force a party to do this side quest or anything. It's just like, hey, toss it out there and see if they actually snag the bait. If they don't, just move on. If they do, this could be an interesting like little side thing that they could go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it's not necessarily the pot that is the reward, but it is given over to show the daughter, hey, you helped, you did a good thing. But actually, inside the pot is a treasure map he found and can't follow, or something cool
Magic
like that.
beans.
You know, magic beans are always a good idea. No, they're not.
You know, there's a D&D item called bag of beans.
I think I've seen that one.
And like basically every time you throw a bean on the ground, you roll a D100 and you don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. There's actually a chance where it's a 60-foot base pyramid with a 60-foot base will appear at the spot that you threw the bean on.
Oh, you could also sprout a campfire with blue flames.
What do we want this pot to do?
I don't want to put a bag of beans in it now.
No.
No,
One
no specific items.
that's D&D specific.
Yeah. Well, you could flavor a bag of beans to really match any campaign. You could just say, hey, it's
Yeah.
literally a bag of beans, have some dinner. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be that bag of beans. It could be a different bag of beans.
I mean, I think most of the magical effects of the bag of beans is like could easily be translated to any tabletop system.
Just about.
Um, God, why is this so hard?
What do we do? How do we make this pot desirable?
I'm not saying to be desirable, just a interesting reward that could lead to a fun little adventure.
Honestly, I've seen party members do like the like they take the dumbest thing and suddenly it's the best item they could have ever had. This pot could become like integral to the entire campaign, but it's just a pot.
I
Doesn't
mean,
doesn't do anything.
yes, but we try to design things that's very isolated.
Yeah,
We have to do our own enclosed system.
this is true.
Uh, wow.
Yeah.
Are we just not creative today?
I mean, I may have left it in the other room. My creativity. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we've
So
decided the pot is magical, yes?
yes. Okay. We'll
Yes.
okay. We'll spitball. Just say a bunch of random magical effects that a, a tin pot can do, and just say whatever you think. And if we land on something that if we say something the other will like, then we'll dive deeper on that.
Any seed planted in the pot instantly sprouts.
Any plant that grows from or build off of that, any plant that grows instantly from that pot is a sentient plant. Uh,
Sorry, I just brain farted on
any
any other
object that
ideas.
gets put into the pot is, if it's metal, turns to a wooden version.
Oh, what if you put a wooden item in there? Would it turn to metal?
No, it'll just become hardwood. I don't know.
Hmm. Does it go through like a cycle, maybe?
No, I think it just turns everything into wood.
It
If
turns
it's already,
anything you place into it into wood.
yeah.
I kind of like that
If
one.
the object fits within it.
Of course. What if you
Uh,
just stick like the handle of a weapon in there? Does it only turn that
no, it
portion of
has to
the
be
handle?
it's because what happens if a party member sticks his hand in it?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So it's an
It has
object
to
that,
be the entirety of the object has to fit in the pot.
if it's a non-wood object, it turns into wood. If it's already wood, it stays wood.
I like that. I
Okay,
think
and
that's
what do we
a
turn into from, like, how do we do an adventure from that?
do we actually have to make an adventure that uses the pot?
I mean, that's usually like the stepping stone, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's how story progression works.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
no professional writer. I didn't do creative writing classes in college.
we've already gone over this. We are not professional writers. You know this. We know this. I know this. Too many words there.
There's a lot of
Um,
words.
yeah, I know. Just throwing words out. You told me to. Okay, so the pot turns things to wood.
Yes,
I feel like it would be more beneficial if it turned things to metal, you
but
know?
then, like, I was doing it based off of like the whole it being a potted plant thing.
True. I mean, the instant growing is nice. They could almost like feed an entire village with that.
But then what could, like,
But if they let the plant come to full maturity, then it becomes sentient.
but then if it grows really fast, what point does it grow maturity?
Or if they let it go beyond maturity. Like you leave a plant in there long enough to grow up and start producing fruit, and then you pull it out, just yank it out by the roots and transplant it somewhere. It's a normal plant. If you let it go too long, it gains sentience and turns into a man eating plant.
You think that's overly complicated?
I feel like it is overly complicated, but it's still kind of fun. Because you can make man eating plants now and just throw them at your enemies. Pot and all. The pot won't break, it's tin.
What happens if anything you plant in there, it turns into basically the piranha plant from Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, those guys are indiscriminate. They'll eat anything.
Yeah, including the party, so they have to be careful.
Right. So.
But that still is not a quest.
No, it's still not a quest. The quest was getting the cart.
That is hardly
What
any
if.
quest.
Yeah, but what if we make it more of a fetch quest? So they're trying to find this cart to get the pot, and there's no cart for sale in town, or no cart that they can get a hold of in town. What are they going to do? They got to go find a cart.
Okay, so you want this quest to be about the cart instead of the tin pot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the quest is. Get a cart. I want a cart. You can have this tin pot. The pot is the reward for the quest.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But then how do you make a quest about getting a cart interesting?
Perhaps you see a merchant roll into town with multiple carts, and you can ask him, hey, would you be willing to give us one of your spare carts? Oh, what can you do for me in return? It really literally becomes a fetch quest at that point, just leads from one thing to another. Yes? No? Maybe?
No,
Lobster?
sorry. I was thinking, is this too cliche? Where I don't know why this would happen, but let's say if there's like a local competition and the first place prize is a cart.
Oh, that just sounds like fun. I mean, in a farming village, that would be okay. I got it. So yes,
But
in a
then
farming
why?
village, a good prize would be a cart, a new cart to travel around in. Maybe the guy who's asking for the cart, we already determined he's an elderly gentleman. He knows he can't win this competition. So what if he puts out this ad for the cart saying, "I'll give you this tin pot, but I don't really have much else. But if you win, can I have the cart?"
No, I think Boldy put
Bodie.
that Bodie put that there in hopes that, like, whoever won that competition, their old cart, they could get their old cart
Oh yeah,
that they were going to throw away anyways because now they have a newer cart.
true.
But
So
then
what if the
again, if the party wins this competition and all that stuff, why would they trade that for a tin pot?
because it has cornflowers and lilies painted on it. They're pretty. I don't know. Maybe they're just doing the competition to show that they are the best. And they don't need the cart, so you might as well give it to the old guy who wants a cart, and boom, free tin pot.
Why is this such a hard quest?
Because it's asking for something and giving something of not equal value, and it's difficult.
Um.
What if it's like that one pot? I don't remember what it's called, but like each different opening on it pours out a different
Oh,
liquid.
alchemical jug.
Is it alchemy jug?
Alchemy jug. Yeah.
Yeah. What if it's
A
that and
real
he doesn't
D&D
know it's
magic
that?
item.
I mean, what if it's that and he doesn't know it's that? Who doesn't want an alchemy jug?
Yeah,
Free
but the
mayonnaise.
alchemy jug is made of ceramic.
It's a tin alchemy jug. Maybe it does different things. It pours out different materials instead of what the regular one does. Somebody was trying to copy it, but with tin.
It sounds like you're really grasping at straws.
I am.
But I'm no better. I don't know what to do.
Let's see what is the alchemy jug? I can't type. All right. So
Did you leave
alchemy
your
jug.
typing skills in the same room as your creativity?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just left them over there. Alchemy jug. What do you do? Liquids it can pour. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like water, fresh water, salt water,
Yeah.
beer,
Uh-huh.
poison,
Yep.
venom, I
Basic
think.
poison.
Basic poison.
Acid.
Toxin. Oh, acid.
No toxin.
Beer, oil,
Yep.
grease. I don't remember the
Not
exact members.
grease. Okay, the list is acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise,
I forgot.
oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, and wine.
Oh, I forgot about the wine and the mayo. Because I always thought that was the funniest one.
How could you forget about the mayonnaise? The honey is the one I forgot about. So we could come up with various different liquids, or this could be like a mini alchemy. Oh, here we go. It's a mini alchemy jug. It only does one thing, but it does that one thing very well.
Okay. New thought. Original magic item. If you start growing a plant in this tin pot, if the party could tend to the pot for X amount of days, then they could, what is it? What is that monster called? A vine blight? Or like, depending on how long the party wants to grow it, they could grow their own tree, like plant monster.
Like a
To
treant?
be, well, that's on the higher end.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say treant because those are like really high end. But I think a vine blight or twig blights are like
Some sort of plant creature.
are on the lower end. But basically, they could grow their own like companion pet.
Maybe it's a roll of the dice to figure out what it is you get out of it.
And how long it'll take for them to tend to and grow.
Yeah, I kind of like that. So,
Okay, but that's what the pot does.
yeah. So, essentially, it's a free pet.
Yes, which I think could encourage
What's
the party to
what's
like.
to stop them from making an army?
Well, it depends on how long it takes. I'm not saying that it's fast growing out of the pot.
That's true. But if they just keep
Um,
going and going,
Well, then it's just like, okay, the party could then claim it's like, okay, if we spend the next year in this town just constantly growing things, then,
that might be a bit much. And I
but
feel like the people of the town would notice an army of plant monsters.
yes.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's up for the game master to shut down.
Yeah. I like it.
But, okay, that's still, so is the quest still just to get a cart?
Pretty much. Yeah. So, I like the cart being.
A prize and competition?
Yeah. So, what's the competition? What kind of competition would be held in a farming town?
Okay, but would this, okay, so like maybe it's a
I
small
sort of just
farming
assumed
town.
it's a farming town.
Well, why would, okay.
Yeah, but why else would it be a
Baldy,
cart?
Baldy having a odds and ends kind of store,
Bodie.
but sorry,
It's
Bodie.
Bodie, not Baldy. He could be bald, but just calling him
No,
Baldy is rude.
fine, Bodie. Why? Like, would he set up a random trinket shop or just a? I know there's a term for this kind of shop. That's not a trinket shop, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
So
I have no
why?
idea what it's called.
I don't think he would set up that kind of shop or attempt to set up that kind of shop in a farming village.
Well, maybe he doesn't have that kind of shop. Does it have to be a trinket shop?
Well, that I was kind of going with that direction because that could easily explain him getting random things and not knowing that's magic.
That's true.
And then that's why he was a failing
Okay, so
business.
maybe it's not necessarily a farming town, but a new cart in ye olden days is helpful no matter where you live, really. So it could be an up and coming little town. It doesn't have to be a farming town, but there could be farming around it.
I mean, it could be just like it could just be a pit stop town
Yeah,
where it's
like
just
like
a
a
long,
crossroads.
yeah, crossroads or just a along the route
Yeah,
established towns, which is a thing.
that is a thing. It's a good place to stop, stay at the inn,
Gather
and
supplies, all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah. Um.
check out
uh,
the trinket shop. And that's probably how he gets a lot of his weird items is he doesn't necessarily ask for payment. He asks if you have anything interesting to trade,
I think
which is
that's I think that's how he starts not getting a lot of money is because maybe he's just very gullible, where people
maybe.
say like, "Oh, this thing," and then they sell him on it, and then he trades for lesser
Yeah. Oh,
without knowing what it is, and that's
maybe
why
the pot
his
needs to be attuned to a specific like type of person, like a druid or some sort of magic user. And that's why he can't use it. That's why he thinks it's just a pot. He,
okay.
he, he doesn't do magic. He's just a shopkeep.
Or is it because he just put it on the shelf hoping to sell it and just never sold, and he never
And
bothered.
suddenly his daughter painted flowers on it.
Well, and like it's like one of those things where it's like the kid overhears the parents talk about like financial troubles or anything like that.
Yeah, that happens.
And then it was like her idea is like, oh, you could trade this for a cart.
Now you're making me all teary-eyed. Just cute.
Okay, so what kind of competition? So,
Um,
uh,
farming things. How fast can you chop this log? How quickly can you load these 5 bales of hay onto this cart over here?
you are still thinking Farming Town.
I am. I know. I forgot. We decided it's not a farming town. Could be
Uh,
an archery contest.
could be a hunting competition.
Yeah. Bring back the biggest kill.
Uh,
It could be a race. Huh.
there's way too many options.
There are. Honestly, it could be whatever the GM decides. Something that maybe someone in your party would have an advantage at and could probably win this cart. If it's something that no one in the party can do, then what's the point?
Yeah, they could take a page out of your book and have a lying competition.
That was actually a random chart that I rolled on. I did not make that up.
But my
I can't
character
take
was the
credit.
best.
Yes, your character is the best at lying, and look where that got him. Dead.
Side note, I was the only okay, our D&D group story time. I was the only one who actually came up with a story to tell.
I know, that's why you won.
Everyone else was just like minimal like, oh, I kind of say something like this as a
Yeah,
lie. I'm like, I just flat out just made up a story on the spot.
and that's why we have a podcast, because you can do that.
And then I rolled really well.
That too, yeah, that helped. But your character was notorious for lying anyway, about pretty much everything.
Yes. His name wasn't even his real name. I established like long time, like early in that campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want like, okay, let's say it's a competition where it's like there's like if this town is like near a forest or something like that,
Okay.
it's the first one to like kill a famed beast kind of thing.
That seems like a bit much.
Like there's like the white like great white wolf of the forest, and it's just like first one to bring its head is the winner of the competition or something like that.
So it's more or less the mayor wants this menace out of the way, so let's make a competition out of it.
Yeah, just to
Someone has to win,
attract
so
adventures and all that stuff. The spirit of
that does sound like
competition.
a pretty cool thing. 'Cause they would probably get to keep like the pelt of the thing or something like that too.
And so maybe that's well,
But then why would they give the cart to the old guy?
it's always going back to why would they give the cart?
Yeah. Why does it have to be a tin pot? It's a tin pot that does a cool thing, though.
Yes, but we're trying to set it up so that
And
getting the tin pot is them not knowing how great it is until they actually get it.
I know. I was like,
So
honestly,
how do you create the motivation when they don't know how good it is?
just about any adventuring party would join that competition just for the heck of joining the competition and being able to say, we won.
Yes, but then
Then they get this cart, and they don't know what.
that's no longer this job posting start though. It's a
I know.
competition job posting start.
I know.
That
But
doesn't fit in
but
what
maybe
I believe like for the spirit of our podcast.
so they win a cart in the competition and they don't want it.
Why would
What do
they
they
not
do
want
with it?
it?
I don't know. Maybe it's not the kind of cart that they can use.
Okay, and also why don't they just sell it then?
Maybe it only carries like 2 or 3 people and they've got more than that. What's
Yes,
the
but
point of having a cart that small?
they could still just sell it.
They could still just sell it. I know.
And that will be
Or
more than a tin pot.
or they can be noble and find that job posting and give the cart to the old man so that he can move his family to another town so he can take care of his mother and get the tin pot in return. And then they find out the tin pot is much cooler than they thought it was.
Okay,
So it was worth it in the end.
I think the only way we could get this to work is if they see the job posting, they go and talk to Bodhi,
Bodhi.
um, and he gives the sob story.
Yes.
That is the only way we could somehow convince them.
Maybe he'll show up at like holding his job posting, be like, "Can I have your cart? I need it.
I need help.
I need help. My mama is sick."
My family doesn't have enough money for a normal card. Hand me downs, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's the
don't
only way I
know.
can. It's like, how else do you justify trading an entire cart for a tin pot?
This job posting
Flowers
sucks.
painted
I'm
on it.
officially saying it. This job posting sucks.
Okay, let's stop here and erase the episode, start a new one.
No, then it'll be a waste.
I don't wanna. I
We're
like the
30
I like
odd
the
minutes into this recording. It's
I like the pot. It's a cool item. Once you figure out what it does, you can start a plant army.
note to
You know,
self, if I ever DM for
patience.
you, I'm never giving you this pot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you better hope I'm not playing a druid. I'll make that thing grow.
Oh my god, like plant growth spell. You just cast it
Uh-huh.
every day.
Oh yeah, just make it go a little faster. Yes. But you'll never give me the item, so
No, I would never.
maybe to limit it so you can't have a plant army. If you do plant something else in the pot, the previous one dies.
Okay. One, yeah, that'll be handy. Two, I think that's not what we need to be thinking of right now.
And whoever's holding the pot controls the creature.
We need to focus.
How else I don't know how to make a party of adventurers who are usually extremely greedy.
I know.
Let's not lie on that. Let's not sugarcoat that. They're always so greedy.
They're greedy and they're
How do you
murder
make them trade a
hobos.
cart for a tin pot? Say greedy murder hobos.
Yes.
Yeah,
They kill things first, ask questions later.
I know. They'd probably just kill the old man and take the pot.
I could see that happening,
I feel terrible for thinking about it, honestly.
but I didn't think that at all. That's your twisted mind.
Oh, sure, make me out to be the bad guy.
Yes, because I legitimately did not think that.
All right.
I
Maybe the
know.
guy knows the pot is magical and he tells them, "Hey, I've got this magic pot. Would you like it in exchange for your cart?"
Okay.
That that's at
He
least
knows it's magical, but he
it's at
doesn't know
least
what it does.
yeah. It's like it's magical. I know it's magical. It does something. I just don't remember what since he's old and he's had it for a while, or he just doesn't know what it does because the people that gave it to him didn't know what it does. But they know it's magical. They could sense that. They identified. No, not identify. They detect magic version, whatever
What school of magic would this
campaign.
be?
Oh man, so it's like
I don't know the schools that
um
well.
okay, let me Google that now. Schools of magic. Would it be a conjuration?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I never followed like descriptiveness or anything like that to like follow schools of magic.
Yeah.
Unless you know you are an archetype of the wizard for a specific class of magic or school of magic. But Most people don't like for like detect magic and all that stuff. They never like game masters never do the what school it actually belongs to.
Yeah. So it says here if there's magic that summons or constructs something, it's conjuration. And it's also covers summoning as well. So I feel like conjuration would be the best bet.
Okay, but you know, we still need to figure out how to get the party to do this.
Yeah. There's that. So I really don't know. I've got nothing. I'm just
I don't have
spitballing
anything
here.
either. This is really bad. We're
I
really
know.
having an off day today.
Well, I mean, it's a cart that is so useful and handy. All they gotta do is find something to pull it. If they have a druid, the druid can pull it because they can turn it into a various creature for like an hour. It's not
Yeah.
that effective, but at least until they find a beast of burden to pull it. It's like it's actually really freaking handy, and
Side
who
note,
wouldn't want a cart?
I know I'm about to derail it, even though I keep criticizing you about derailing.
No,
Uh,
please go ahead.
a paladin's fine steed. Couldn't that steed then pull the cart?
I mean, yeah,
Anyways, um,
but typically a riding horse is not trained, or steed, whatever it
but
is not
then
typically trained to
it's a
pull a cart.
magically created horse,
Oh, good point. Wow, that would be super handy.
right? And it doesn't ever have to rest because it's
Yeah, that's
magic.
just giving more reasons to not trade the
I
cart.
understand. I know this is so hard.
It's an optional quest, okay? It exists in a town where there's a competition you can win a cart. If the party so
Okay,
chooses, they can trade that cart for a really cool tin pot that they can grow magical plant beast in. A
okay.
magical plant beast. Just one.
I think this is the like because it's so like improbable that a party will ever be willing to trade a card for this pot.
Yeah.
Let's say that Bodhi doesn't know it's magical,
Okay.
and we up the actual usefulness of it. So if the off chance the party ever like trades a card for that thing, then it's an actually good item.
Well, yeah. I would think it's already a good item, but
Okay.
how more useful do you want to make it?
I have
It's
a
like,
website that
oh, you have a website.
yeah, it's like a okay. I'm going into D&D. Like creatures. There's a website where it's a bestiary of all the creatures that gets organized by different types and like challenge ratings.
Nice. I want that.
So I'm looking at plant monsters right now.
Okay.
Um, it makes Shambling Mound is a challenging 5 monster.
Yeah.
I say it makes it a Shambling Mound.
So it just flat up makes a shambling
Like
mound for
after
them.
a certain amount of days, but
Yeah, yeah.
it needs to be on the higher end because the very low chance of them actually doing it,
Mm-hmm.
it should have a unique, just hidden side quest reward. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Because like
So,
the phrasing of this is just going to be like I'm gonna say probably like 5% chance that the party will actually do it.
right.
So if the party goes and talks to Bodhi and he makes his plea and all that stuff and says, I am like, there's this competition, hunting competition to first group to like kill this great white wolf of the forest that's been terrorizing travelers, or whatever creature you want,
Right.
or even like a bandit group. I don't know.
Yeah, just get rid of the thing that's terrorizing things.
The winners will get a brand new cart. And if he could give them, like, if they win the competition and get the cart and give it to him, he's willing to give this lovely tin pot painted with cornflowers and lilies that his daughter painted on it.
Yeah. And, it's a work of art, one of a kind.
Just say, like, we don't have much. One of the last things I never got to sell was this. Would you?
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it to you as a just token of appreciation for helping me in my time of need.
Okay.
And if the party ever actually decides to do that for some strange reason,
Yeah.
then they will get a tin pot that if you start growing it over X amount of days, it will turn the plant will turn into a shambling mound that will be your pet.
Can it please wear the pot as a hat?
It's like Bowser with the shell on his back. The pot will be on his back, like a turtle
Okay,
shell.
gotcha. It like just integrates into the monster.
I mean, Treant is a challenge 9. I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, that might be a little too big. Well, Shambling Mound, like reading the description of it, says a man-like plant creature. So you basically just get a swamp monster on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that will be a little bit more fitting and rewarding for the party to just do that.
Yeah, feel like that's a really good reward. Extra party member, essentially.
Yes, with a decent amount of like challenge rating.
Right.
It
And
might
if
be a
anything ever
little bit
happens to it, you can just
overpowered.
throw another one.
It might be a little bit overpowered if it's very early campaign, low level campaign.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needs to have a decent reward because I feel like no party will ever do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's a very slim chance that they will trade for this pot, but if they get it, it's a good thing. And honestly, if any of them detects magic on it, they'll sense that it is magical. So,
Yes.
they'll know, hey, this might actually be worth it.
I mean, okay, so that is the question of like if they just cast Identify, because if they do it non-ritually, it's just touching it and then learning the entire properties of it.
Right. They'll know what it is and they'll be like, oh, hey guys, we should totally make this trade. It's like, who doesn't want a mound, like a shambling mound pet or friend or, extra party member?
Oh, how about to encourage like them not to do that because it's truly for the kindness of their heart. He's like, can you please do this and like all this stuff, and then the daughter is the one that holds up the tin pot. It's like, I'll give this to you. I painted myself, kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't think is that a way to encourage them not to identify it.
No, it's totally not.
Okay, well, it's worth a shot.
I'm sorry. It was like, if I was a player with the ability to identify, I'd still identify it. It's like, I want to know what this thing is that I'm being given.
Yeah, that's true.
But that would give them more of a reason to trade for it. It's like, what do they need a cart for? Shambling Mound? Yeah, I'd rather have that.
Yes, but I was hoping for like this design to be more of a surprise, kind of like kindness receives rewards kind of thing.
True. I mean, they'd still, out of the kindness of their hearts, trade for the pot without, the guy knowing what he's trading away. Because he could easily sell that pot.
If the kindness is like, if they were truly kind, then they would do that and give him some more money because that pot will be clearly worth more.
Clearly.
So they would either pay the difference or just flat out tell him that he could just sell it and get a lot more money out of it.
And a better cart. Which could also be the outcome of this. If they decide to tell him that the pot is magical, here's what it does.
They're not going to tell him.
They could. They very much could. I don't know. I would.
Okay, so I think we somewhat have a quest.
Yeah, there's multiple outcomes. They can either keep the cart and tell them about the pot, or not tell them about the pot and just keep the cart anyway, or they can trade the cart for the pot. One way or another, someone's getting a cart.
So, or they could just buy the pot outright and give him enough money to buy his own cart.
That is also true. Then they have a cart and a pot, and
no hunting trip. So then it will skip the entire.
Oh, that would skip the entire thing, huh?
Yeah. Okay. I guess
they can choose what they want to do.
That is pretty much this quest.
That sounds like a decent quest-ish.
Thank you for listening to this episode where we spent half of this episode complaining about how we can't think of anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you ever toss us into your game and they actually go for it, let us know what happened on Twitter at QuestBoardPod. Also tweet at us if you have your own job posting suggestions. Hopefully it'll be something more directed than the one we just did today. So with that, I wish you all a good night.
And happy questing.